No, but really, when we talk about culture, I always ask, what is culture? Culture changes. Culture means different things to different people at different times. A lot of our children who've been taken out of Nigeria and brought to school abroad for whatever reason, a lot of them are masking. That means when they go to school, they have to be a certain way from 9 to 3 o'clock. They leave school. If they are day students, they go home. Mom and dad are like, this is Nigeria. When you get here, leave all of those things they've told you outside. So they come home and they're kind of masking again, like, all right, what I've been exposed to from 9 to 3 doesn't work here. All right, let me shift into what mom and dad think is Nigerian. Then there's a third switch that typically happens, which is when they get lost in social media world. There's a culture on social media. And guess what? The culture on social media is borderless, and I dare say a bit more concerning than whether or not we feel that our children are holding on to our culture. I don't know that culture has a definition anymore. It's a bit, people might be like, what do you mean? Well, it depends. I like Afrobeats, but there are certain things I don't agree with the Afrobeats culture, right? The songs are nice, but do you listen to those lyrics? What they are doing in those videos, I'm like, hello. But I really think we have to recognize that our children are masking a lot. They are in many, many different spaces at the same time. Now, I haven't talked about the children in boarding. They are not even ending their masking at 3 o'clock. They are masking for as long as they are in school, until exit, until midterm, until summer. When summer happens or midterm, not all of them get to go home. Not all of them have parents that come to help to reset them. Some of them are spending time in somebody's house, on their couch. Do you know what I mean? When I talked about my pillars, I said educate, empower, then empathize. If we look at empathy, we will recognize that our children are doing a lot of switching that they didn't ask for. We brought them. So at the same time, we can't then confuse them by saying, do not forget that this is not your culture. I hope we're together. I'm not saying we should take everything that's here. Of course not. But we have to recognize that our children, a lot of them are struggling because, I will use that word again, they are masking. They're having to fit into roles depending on the room they enter. And then they have their parents, the love, who many times are telling them, this is not our culture, don't forget where we're from. But every time we say that, we should remember, what are we talking about? And let's be very clear on what those cultures are that we want. Respect, right? Talking to each other with a level of accord. Not feeling that you are now so foreign, you don't want to go back to Nigeria again. But once again, guess who has the power? It's the parents. I'm not saying it's not expensive, but how many children get to go home and spend time there? I dare say that on summer holidays, if we can get to that point, it would be great if we can start to take our children en masse to go back home. Let them go and spend time at home. Go to an office there where, guess what? You don't think about whether you're black or not. You're just in an office with everybody who looks like you, who can pronounce your name. You're not thinking, just call me Paul, even though your name is Peteru. Right? So, when it comes to culture, I really always go from a place and a heart of empathy. Let me understand what I'm facing. What are the children struggling with? When you talk about social media, I'm not about whether it's good or bad. It's good and bad. It's about the quality of what you're consuming online. A child would tend to gravitate to what they like in person online. And by the way, algorithms are radicalizing our children. I'm going to say that again. This is not about fear. It's about what? Education. When we know algorithms are radicalizing our children, what does that mean? If a child, whether from interest, curiosity, or by mistake, should land on something on social media, what does that social media platform do more of? It sends them more of that stuff. So their worldview, you might be a Nigerian parent raising a child in Ikeja GRA, but your child's culture is more foreign than the American. So I'll leave it there to say, I really want us to really be thinking, what does it mean? And how do we measure as a parent? Can we measure if we feel like our children are losing culture or not? Do we know what that looks like?